Welcome to the show. My name is Charlton with Big C. This is Charlton and Big C Sports coming to you worldwide on the Big C Sports Network, the number one network in the United States of America. And Big C Sports has been voted the number one sports show in the universe, according to Big C and the good old boys down south. I want to say bienvenidos to all of our listeners across the pond in London, England, as well as Paris, France. Of course, I want to say Big C Tribe, the Big C Tribe in Africa. Hello to the Big C Tribe in Africa, following Big C Sports. Also, you good old boys up in Canada. You know we love no one more than the good old boys down south in the land of the free, in the home of the brave. Big C is calling in just a minute, but I do want to say today is a beautiful October the 9th, 2017, in the land of the free, in the home of the brave, and so much is going on in the world of sports and the world of entertainment. We actually have Vice President Mike Pence was out in California today. I think he left. He was out here at UC Davis, and they were having some type of a conference call going over there in Sacramento. That was at UC Davis. I think he's already left town. Also, Hillary Clinton was in town too. But a lot of things happened in Big C, in the world of sports, in the land of the free, in the home of the brave. I do want to bring you in just a second. I want to say today's segment sponsored by your Northern California Cadillac dealers, home of the all-new Cadillac Escalade, the standard of the world. And when you go by and test drive yours, tell them Charlton and Big C sent you. Big C, I think we have you on the line. How's it going for you good old boys down south, Big C? Say that one more time, Big C. Go ahead. Right. I know the weather's kind of tough in the south, but I know you good old boys are used to dealing with that. Go right ahead, Big C.
Well, Charlton, it's a hurricane going through here, so it's left us a little wet down here, but it's good with the fall.
Yeah, it's always something good with that. And I tell you, there's so much happening in the world of football and even basketball talks are going on and trying to get everybody ready. The baseball season in high swing, Big C. So I know we're getting your microphone worked on. And so everybody's ready for some good football tonight in the NFL. But we've had a lot of great college games over the weekend. A couple of upsets, too, if you believe in that. And also the NFL, some really big games early on, talking about which teams are going to be the dominant teams. Big C, I want to get your thoughts on just what's happening in the world of Major League Baseball, Big C.
Charlton, it's been an exciting playoff series going on with all the teams, particularly heavy.
Yeah.
Kind of the back wait for the play. Out of the playoffs for Houston F. Been a very hot team and long. And today they put the handcuffs on the Red Sox. The Yankees right now trying to pull in their series.
Yeah.
Roberts Chapman today threw a tremendous one of the third innings they for the Yankees. Every pitch was over 100 miles an hour.
Wow.
Through. But just baseball is electrifying. The Dodgers right now are up on the D-backs.
Yeah. Well, obviously the Dodgers have never lost a series when they were up 2 games to 1. And then if you think about that, I want to also make sure that everybody understands in the world of sports, when you think about it, everybody's playing great baseball right now, especially the Dodgers. I even look at what the Diamondbacks were doing when they were coming into this series. They actually had a better series going up against the Dodgers. They beat them in the regular season, but when it comes to baseball in the playoffs, the Dodgers have turned things around and they've played the way they normally play. And that's what the Dodgers fans want. It's great to see Chavez Ravine full, lots of people in the stands, and baseball is always great in LA when the home teams are doing great, whether it's the Angels or the Dodgers. A lot of people plug into baseball in Southern California, and we love the way they play the game. Obviously, we look forward to what's going to happen going to Arizona tonight. You want to see the Dodgers and the Arizona Diamondbacks. The bad thing about playing in Arizona, they're always under the dome. You do want to I like baseball, Big C, when it's outside and you don't have to have that covered up window, and that's what they have when they go inside of the dome down in Arizona. Another great thing that's happening too in the world of sports, and maybe not many people talk about it, but even in the world of sports, we have so many things that people say, well, they want to see the home teams win, or they want to see dominant football teams. And Big C, we talk about in baseball. Has anyone been more dominant than the Dodgers in your recall of baseball? Anyone been more dominant than the Dodgers in the regular season, losing I think 17 of the last 18 regular season games, and now in the playoffs they're off to a 2-0 start? Big C, your thoughts?
Well, Charlton,
Yeah.
Their bats and their pitchers were all there, all in sequence. They went to a low late in the season, but a lot of that, Charlton, I think, has attributed to playing young players.
Yeah.
You're bringing in players from the farm system, trying to see what you have for your future.
Yep.
And you challenge yourself.
Yeah, that's true. And so right now, Kershaw, we talked about it. Kershaw, he's hittable when you get him past 7. Prior to 7, he gave up a couple of home runs in that game 1. So they come back game 2, and they had they started off with they were down in the hole at home, 2-0. Came back. Their bench is really strong. The Dodgers remind me a lot of the teams back in the big red machine that can hit the ball. So even if they get behind early, they have a chance to come back and play. And I really like their chances. Big C, I would love to see Chicago and the Dodgers again. But who knows, because Washington actually showed some moxie trying to get a win at home. Big C, your thoughts?
Well, Charlton is led by a great manager in Dusty Baker.
Yeah.
Dusty Baker's done it all as a player and a coach. You think about it. He won a World Series with the Dodgers. He's been manager of the year 3 times.
Yeah.
He's taken teams such as the Giants to the World Series. And now he's on the precipice of that again in Washington. He's turned around this young fledgling franchise with a lot of great promise, a lot of great pitchers, Charlton.
Yeah.
To have him at this point to challenge you an opportunity to play in the World Series, Charlton. So a lot of the credit goes to Dusty Baker.
Oh, yeah.
Being able to handle his pitching staff, Charlton, and keep his batters in the right position. He has a great young lineup with power and speed.
Yeah.
And he's done a magical job being there in DC.
That's a very good point. Dusty's always been a player. As a player, he's a great player. As a manager, he's been everywhere he's gone. His teams have made the playoffs. He was a playoff manager for the Giants. They actually went to the World Series and they lost in 7 games to Anaheim. He actually took Chicago Cubs and they almost erased the curse. And then that good old boy grabbed the ball from the stands. You shouldn't do that. Obviously, we know all the story of that. Yeah. So that was Bartman. That was a tough series. But who was manager? Dusty. Now you look at the Washington Nationals. Who's the manager? Dusty Baker. There's something about consistency. You could take Dusty and put him in any organization, and he would have that team competing for a championship. So, good job with that. You also look at the Houston series and the Red Sox. I think Houston's eliminated the boys from Beantown. Big C, your thoughts?
I mean, they came out, Charlton, and they played wonderful baseball. Houston has led that division from start to finish. And they went on to prove that in the playoffs that they were no fluke. This is a team that was, you think about back in the 60s and 70s and the 80s, in the 70s when you had Nolan Richards, Nolan Richards on the mound, and then you had the fastballer, can't even think of his name, Hall of Fame, all-time strikeout leader.
Right.
Owen Ryan. These guys were masterful guys, but, that's all Houston had was a pitcher. Now they got bats. They got 2 MVP candidates, Charlton. This is a team that's complete.
Yeah.
People talk about building through the draft.
Yeah.
Houston did that. They built their organization the right way, but now they have a pitching staff to complement that. And when they brought in Verlander, a month ago,
he's amazing.
From Detroit, he solidified where they had. Verlander had been at that point before, so he knows what it's like to pitch in the playoffs.
Yeah.
He was able to bring that moxie to the Houston Astros.
Yep.
And now you have a team that's on the verge of getting to the World Series for the first time in franchise history.
That's a very good point, Big C. So we love baseball. I know Chicago, they're a great story if they get back to try to repeat as World Series champions. We know the story of the Dodgers wanting to get there, and you look at what's happened with Houston being eliminated, but they were at one time they were the best team, at least record-wise, in the game. So it doesn't matter who you're playing. You got Washington, and they're in their battles with Chicago. Cleveland's a strong. Everybody's strong right now, but you can always lose, and that's the thing that worried me about the Dodgers. Not that I'm pulling for either team, but I do want to see West Coast teams. I'm a little bit biased, basically. I know you good up boys don't understand what that means, but great baseball coming up. No matter who wins, it's always good to see good baseball. Big C, in the world of college football, I don't know what to say about football other than I love it. The crowd at Texas A&M and number 1 Alabama, if you don't like football, all you have to do is watch that game and realize that 12th man, that's legit. That gives you an extra dose of energy or extra kick of moonshine, as you good old boys call it down south, Big C. But just give me your thoughts on Alabama being pushed into the 4th quarter by an A&M team, even though they started out 24-3. Big C, your thoughts?
Well, Charlton, this is what the moxie of college football is about, that competitive nature. And everybody's always talking about on any given Sunday, Charlton, it starts on Friday at Saturday
Yeah.
night in football. And you think about the world of college football. College Station has always been a place to play. Coach Kevin Sumlin's been under fire all season long.
Yeah.
He's losing that opening game to UCLA after leading by an enormous amount of time. But to play Alabama close to the best, Charlton, they held Alabama in check better than any team has done all year long.
Yeah.
But there'll still be people calling for Kevin Sumlin.
Isn't that crazy?
You got to look across the landscape of college football, Charlton. There are not 10 great coaches in college football.
No.
That's about it. You know, when you get outside the top 10, and we saw two teams in the top 10 lose this past weekend.
Yep.
But when you look at Alabama, Nick Saban has built a franchise down there in Tuscaloosa. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
And that's very hard to crack. A&M has only beaten them one time since Kevin Sumlin has been there. So, you know, a lot of expectation for people outside the realm of football is unrealistic. But this was a tremendous game for the players and on the field. And that's all that should matter, not the Regents who are sitting there saying, we're going to find somebody who is going to beat Nick Saban. Ask Texas how well they're doing with Tom Herman.
Yeah, and they had to go to overtime in Texas to beat Kansas State in a game. You know, again, they probably should have won by more than that. But I also want to get you to another program up north in the Big Ten. Is it Big 19, Big C, or Big 10? I know they have a lot of teams up there. I know a lot of people, a lot of money. But Big C, I know there's so much talk about Jim Harbaugh, how he takes I guess he takes an airplane. I don't know if he takes Greyhound or an airplane, but he goes down to Florida, goes to California in the recruiting days to let people see how the Michigan football program is. No knocking Jim Harbaugh, great coach. But they lose to the hometown rival, and we talked about that, losing the game to Michigan State. It happened again because of 5 turnovers in the rain at home. Is there any excuse for Harbaugh? Because he spares nothing to go out and get players, but they got 5 turnovers at home in a big rivalry game. Big C, your thoughts on Michigan's loss?
Well, Charlton, we put some talk in about D'Antonio going into this game, Charlton.
Yeah.
You know, you can't look past Michigan State in a rivalry game. D'Antonio's had some up and down years in Michigan State. We talked about a couple of years ago, Charlton. He was in the college football playoffs.
Yep.
Okay, so we know that he's a quality coach.
Yeah.
Michigan has never been in that neighborhood of the college football playoffs. So it always comes down to 1 or 2 plays when you look at a season in sports. Whether you're lucky or unlucky.
Yeah.
You know, Michigan State came in, they play balls out realistically.
Yeah.
They have nothing to lose. They
Yeah.
play house money.
Yeah.
You know, the 10th team in that rivalry is Michigan.
Yeah.
You feel that you can't afford to lose. Michigan State says, we can afford to go have fun.
Yeah.
That's what they did, Charlton. These are players enjoying the luster of college football.
Yeah.
Okay, giving it their all in a rivalry game, not caring about the maize and blue on the other side, Charlton. And that's what big coaches do. We talked about that earlier. There are not 10 great coaches in college football.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of good coaches.
That's a very good point.
So now, Mike D'Antonio found a way to pick up his team, Charlton, and have them win this interstate rivalry against the Boston Wolverines.
Yep, that's a very good point, Big C. Out on the West Coast, Kevin Falk, almost 300 yards passing in a game against Oregon. I thought Oregon would play much better going into that game against Washington State. Washington State at the time was ranked number 11 in the country. I know Oregon has some quarterback issues because they're playing with a freshman, and Oregon was ranked 26th in the country going into the game. But to Oregon, I've never seen Oregon only score 10 points at home. It doesn't mean that Washington State's defense is as that dominant, but they did look good. They're very fast. But Oregon doesn't have a lot of firepower because they don't have a good quarterback at this time, Big C. But your thoughts on Washington State and Falk showing that he's legit, Big C, your thoughts?
Well, a lot of times, Charlton, people will look at a lackluster offensive performance on the other side to the opposing team is not that good. But you put a lot of pressure on teams both offensively and defensively, and that's what Washington State does. When you have Falk at quarterback, other quarterbacks always feel that they got to play some catch-up.
Yeah.
Because this guy will put the ball in the air frequently and often, and that's what Washington State under Mike Leach does.
Yeah.
Falk has really developed as one of the finest passers in the country, and you know, when you look at his statistics, they prove that.
Yeah.
But Washington State, the rest of the team is vastly improved.
Yeah.
And that's what people are not understanding, is that their defense has had an opportunity to play against Falk every day in practice.
Yep.
So when they see an opposing quarterback come along, Charlton, they're not blown away because if we say something better,
they've seen it
4 to 5 days a week. Okay?
Yeah, that's true. They've already seen it. And also around the country, when I look at some of the games that of big importance, I just want to bring thought to the San Diego State UNLV game because they had a tribute to the massacre that happened in Las Vegas. unfortunate, but we talk about sports galvanizing people, and the fans in Las Vegas, they had a nice tribute at home, before that game happened. So again, congratulations to San Diego State and UNLV doing it the right way. Big C, Washington blew out Cal by the score of 38-7, and Jake Browning is becoming one of the top passers in the history of college football. And the fact that this kid's only a junior up at Washington, it just shows me that no matter how you throw the football, I look at Coach Peterson, and here's a guy who knows how to make his quarterbacks great, and I think he's doing the same thing with this kid. Big C, your thoughts? Yeah.
Put several of them in the NFL.
Yeah.
But, Washington really has revamped their program since Peterson's arrival.
Yeah.
They always had great recruiting power. They just needed a coach that could bring all that together as a cohesive unit.
Yeah.
Peterson brought that same dynamic that he had at Boise State up to Seattle.
Yeah.
And, a lot of things need your coaches. Everyone says, okay, we got to go out and get this big-time college coach.
Yeah.
Washington went down the street over to Boise, Idaho, and found a guy who understood what it was like to develop young men.
Yeah.
You think about the talent that he had at Boise State. They weren't 4- and 5-star recruits. They were 1- and 2-star recruits, Jonathan. But he brought these players in, and he had the dynamic to put them together and make them play better. And so when you look at Washington, when he had the chance to get 3- and 4-star recruits, Jonathan,
yeah,
to come up to Seattle, he has really evolved that program. It takes you back to the days of Don James when he had that program winning national titles. And Peterson has this team close because they were in the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
If not for an injury to the quarterback, they would have had a good run in the series.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that too, Big C. I do want to say that sports is a billion-dollar industry, and boys and girls sports is the foundation to this billion-dollar industry. For every sporting event, you need athletic and event insurance. We work with Ben and Mark. They've been around for half a century. They work with Big C Sports. They cover pro athletes, your collegiate teams, your high school teams, even your mom and pop soccer leagues. And when you reach out to them, let them know that Big C sent you. So over the weekend, college football, some great games, whether it was Stanford knocking off Utah at home. Again, had a great game up in Southern California with USC getting back on track, blowing out Oregon State. Georgia blew out Vanderbilt. TCU with a big win over West Virginia. Is TCU the best program in Texas now, Big C? Your thoughts?
Well, they really developed their program down there in Burnett. They moved into the Big 12, and they haven't missed a stride. And this is a team that has twice competed in the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
So this is a development. You think about the talent in Texas. Everybody for years thought about the University of Texas.
Yep.
Being the only horse in town. But, they're now on the bottom of the slate. When you look around, you got TCU, you got A&M.
Yeah.
Playing well, Charlton. These teams can play. Houston, made some waves last season. So there's a lot of talent. But, Barnett down at TCU has done a tremendous job.
Yeah.
The team undefeated and in the rankings.
Yeah. I want to ask you, Oklahoma, how do they lose a game at home to Iowa State? Obviously, any given Saturday, we heard about any given Sunday, but any given Saturday, what are they feeling in Oklahoma? This is a game they should have won, but they just didn't play great defense. They got outscored. However you call it, they lost to Iowa State, which is not going to go anywhere this big. So your thoughts?
And Charlton, Iowa State played a backup quarterback in that game, but when you look at Oklahoma, as this season has evolved, they've really blown anybody out. Yeah, they had the big win against Ohio State, and everybody put them in the playoffs off of that win. Baker Mayfield, Heisman candidate.
Yeah.
But they have had some games that have been nail biters.
Yeah, yeah.
They haven't walked out there and beat people by 30 and 40 points like they should. And also, Charlton, they got the Red River rivalry, which I think they were overlooking Ohio State for going down and play Texas next week in the Cotton Bowl.
Yeah.
And that's what happens as a coach. When you don't have an opportunity to prepare your team for that week, and you start looking at a rivalry game
Yeah.
down the week, down the road,
Yeah.
that's what happens. You get knocked off like an Oklahoma and Michigan, who are now out of the playoff run.
Yeah, that's a big point, Big C. So obviously, we love college football, but there's something about the NFL that makes you realize that this is where a lot of people, any given Sunday, anything can happen. A game I really want to bring your attention to is the one that was played up in Detroit. And I look at what happened with $200 million quarterbacks. You look at Cam Newton, who came out of all of this make-believe offense behavior. I like to, run everything according to what President Trump does. So I can't believe that saying, but a woman's asking me about passing routes in a flippant way, trying to say men don't even ask about that. But to me, I thought it was a backhanded compliment. But they made him come out and apologized. I thought he was saying that he grabbed women by the vagina, but that was Donald Trump, but he's still president. So that fake, and I believe Donald Trump for this one, the fake media is making Cam Newton come out and act as if he said the same type of thing. It was nowhere near as egregious. And for all the people that criticize him on that, just play it side by side. I can't believe a woman's asking me about pass routes and then grabbing women by the vagina and tell me which one women are more offended by. Just do that. Big C, your thoughts on that game? A big game by Cam Newton out-dueling Matt Stafford in his backyard.
Well, Charlton, my thoughts go well beyond the game. I mean, Cam Newton has constantly dealt with adversity and controversy his entire career. If you go back to the University of Florida, where he had allegedly stolen a laptop and obstructed justice, and so he left the University of Georgia. Where did he go? Down to a junior college down in Kansas. He wins the national championship at junior college. He comes back to University of Auburn, where he was alleged and marred in scandal and allegations once again, where he said his father was, passing him around and asking for up to $180,000 for him to attend the university. So
are you saying his dad is Big Pitino? Big C, is Big Pitino Cam Newton's dad? Big C, is that what you're trying to say? Yeah.
Where, he was hard in controversy again because he didn't want to answer certain questions that they wouldn't ask a white quarterback.
Yeah.
After a loss in the Super Bowl. And if you think I'm wrong, go back and look at all the previous losses from white quarterbacks in Super Bowls, Charlton, and see if they were asked the same questions that Cam Newton was mired with at that point. But after this controversy last week
yeah. No, he didn't grab her by the vagina. No. No. Right.
And it brought, a smirk to him. So
yeah.
But what does he do, Charlton, after being mocked again by the media and scrutinized?
Yeah.
He comes out and has another one of his greatest days in the throw. Back-to-back weeks, Charlton, where he's thrown 3 touchdown passes.
Yeah.
He goes against his quarterback that's making $200 million.
Yeah.
Who is an all-time leader and comes from behind victories. As we talked about last week, there's a reason why Matthew Stafford has so many come from behind victories. Because he can't play out.
They're always behind. Yeah.
He's had 2 chances where he can come from behind and get victory.
Yeah.
He's also failed 2 times, but that's not the story. The story is not about Matthew Stafford's failure. The story is about people still belittling Cam Newton. Not talking about his great performance when he went out and did back-to-back weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. Tom Brady. Yeah.
He beat America's prodigal child the week before.
Yeah. Yeah.
Comes out this week. Beats America's highest paid quarterback, who is a come from behind king. Cam Newton is a consummate pro. What is the Carolina's record, Charlton? 4-1?
Yeah.
4-1. And yet he gets no praise for being a top-flight NFL quarterback, repeating the performance he had 2 years ago when he was a league's MVP.
Big C, not only are they 4-1, you look at what they've done, as you mentioned, they beat Tom Brady and the Patriots at New England. They beat Matthew Stafford and the Lions at Detroit, okay? This is a team, and he still is not 100% from his shoulder. But here's a guy who comes under so much garbage. Yeah, same thing. That's a very good point to bring up, Big C. So obviously, good job, Cam Newton. Who needs Dannon? I like Yo Play Yogurt anyway, Big C. I want to talk about another $100 million quarterback. And the Giants and Manning, Eli has lost it to me. I look at the Chargers going in there. I'm still going to call them San Diego Chargers because they're going to hear it here first. The San Diego Chargers go in there and beat them. And Odell Beckham, got a feel for Odell Beckham because he was really their only weapon on offense. And when Odell's down, Eli couldn't even bring him back to a win. And he's the guy who's paid the most money on that team, Big C. Your thoughts? Yeah. Yeah.
You think about it, there were 3 quarterbacks that were taken in that same draft, I believe, 2004. There was Eli Manning.
Yep.
There was Phillip Rivers.
Yeah.
And there was Ben Roethlisberger, okay?
Yeah.
There were 3 quarterbacks that basically played pathetic all year long.
Yeah.
By Eli Manning. Think about it. Everybody at the beginning of the season said the Jets would go in the tank and not win a game this year.
Yeah.
But they didn't look at the other locker room in the state and said that team would be 0-5.
Isn't that something?
This team has a lot of leftovers from Tom Coughlin on the team.
Yeah.
It was a run-oriented team. All they did was fire Tom Coughlin to elevate Ben McAdoo to the head coaching position.
Yeah.
He said, okay, we're going to go to the West Coast Pass passing scheme, and we're going to still have the run-oriented players on the team.
Yeah.
Yet we have no running game and no quarterback that can run the West Coast offense.
Yeah.
The lack of success that the Giants have had all year, and even at the end of last year, it was all laid on Odell Beckham.
Yep.
Eli Manning being the prodigal child, it's not his fault.
No.
It's because he throws interceptions. Maybe the receiver ran the wrong route.
Yeah.
It's because they have no running game. Maybe he's not audibling to the wrong play. Maybe the linemen are not picking up the block.
Yeah, that's a good point.
All the problems with the Giants starts with Eli Manning.
Yeah.
You gotta get blasted by the mainstream media. No, did Cam Newton get blasted by the mainstream media for having a couple of subpar games, even though the Carolina Panthers won?
Yeah.
That's double standard when it comes to quarterback. Yes, they say he gets a pass because he has 2 Super Bowl rings. Okay.
Yeah.
There's a lot of quarterbacks with Super Bowl rings that never took a snap.
That's a very good point.
Because he had a couple of passes caught by a couple of excellent athletic receivers, they never get credit for it. But Eli Manning right now is pathetic as an NFL quarterback. He's playing no better than anybody with the Browns, anybody else on the team.
That's a very good point. Big C, in the final 7 minutes, Cincinnati got the win over Buffalo. The Jets beat Cleveland. It was Pittsburgh over Jack. Actually, let me just read that. I thought I read it wrong too, but Jacksonville blew out Pittsburgh. And this is about chemistry. There's some things going on. I mean, Roethlisberger's always been a great quarterback, but he also has some history too, and people know about that. When I look at Cam Newton losing a sponsorship over saying a woman asking me about passing routes, here's Big Ben. He's had his own. You can Google his past. He's had his own incidents in the NFL. That's just a fact. He's still getting sponsored, okay? For you good old boys that want to Google people, Google it. But now he says he thought about retiring. Now he doesn't think about retiring. Now he says in a press conference, maybe I've lost it. What kind of leadership is that, Big C? Your thoughts?
He has lost it. Think about it. Ben Roethlisberger did something on Sunday that only one other quarterback in NFL history has done, and that other quarterback has done it twice.
Yeah.
And that other quarterback is calling games, Tony Romo.
Yeah.
Throwing 5 interceptions in the game, Charlton, and 2 of them for pick 6.
Yeah.
Tony Romo did that in 2012, 2007. Okay? But Ben Roethlisberger said he contemplated retirement.
Yeah.
I don't know if he did retire and not retire.
Yeah.
Based on the way he's playing. But he's not committed to the team. He can go out and blast Antonio Brown one week.
Yeah.
And then come back and throw 5 interceptions and 2 touchdowns the following week.
Yeah.
2 touchdowns to the opposing team, Charles.
Yeah.
So, but the thing that gets me is that the media is not questioning the ability of these quarterbacks.
No.
They're not questioning the ability of Eli Manning. They're not questioning whether he's committed. They're not questioning Ben Roethlisberger, is he committed? Or
No.
his ability is he's 35 years old.
Yeah.
These quarterbacks get to a shelf when they get to that age. Ask Joe Montana, Steve
Yeah.
Young.
Yeah.
The great quarterbacks of the past, okay? You're not questioning their ability. Somebody had to lose in that game versus the Giants. It wasn't a slugfest.
Yeah.
This was a sluggish contest. It was just who made the least amount of turnovers would win that game, and so the Chargers won the game.
Big C.
So when you talk about these 3 allegedly elite former quarterbacks
Yeah.
in the NFL, Charlton,
Yeah.
and what their productivity is now, it's not the reason why their teams are winning. They're the reason why their teams are losing.
That's true, Big C. In the final 5 minutes, Big C, I want to bring up real quick, and it's embarrassing. San Francisco has not won a football game since Colin Kaepernick, who can't get a job, led them to a victory. They fell at Indianapolis in overtime. Philadelphia with a big win over Arizona. We talked about Carolina over Detroit. The Rams, I thought the Rams are who we thought they were. I thought they beat my friends from Seattle, but something happens when you bring fish into Los Angeles. They gave them good old boys fish, and the boys from Los Angeles had wine and cheese. But that defense, they said, wins championships. Big C, your thoughts on Seattle coming up big again?
Well, Charles, but also the Rams went back to what they were under Jeff Fisher.
Yeah.
You got Todd Gurley, and you're not giving him football. Go back and look at the Rams' victories, Charlton, and see who led the march. Todd Gurley, Charlton. Todd Gurley had less than 50 yards rushing
Wow.
in Seattle. But he didn't get 20 carries in the game, Charles. I believe he had 12 carries, 13 carries
Yeah,
in the game.
that's a shame.
You take Todd Gurley out of the offense, and your own team takes him out, not the opposing team, you cannot expect to win.
Yeah.
We look up and down the ledger week in, week out in the NFL. The teams that are winning have some semblance of a ground game, Charlton.
Yeah.
You're just not going to go out and pass for 400 yards every game and think that you're going to win every game because you keep your defense on the field.
That's a very good point.
The Rams took Todd Gurley out of this game against the Seahawks, Charlton.
Yeah.
And it made it easy for Seattle's defense just to rush the passer.
Big C, final 3 minutes. We look at Kansas City in that game against Houston, a great contest down in Texas. And Oakland falls at home to Baltimore. But I want to get your thoughts on Green Bay and Dallas. This goes way back in the day to when they were playing up at Lambeau in the frozen tundra. And it seems like every time these two teams play, the winning team wins with about a minute to play in the game. Your thoughts on the great comeback by Dak Prescott and the Cowboys? Ezekiel Elliott extended the ball up for the first down when they didn't have it on the sideline view. They had it from the overcam view. But then Troy Aikman said something that I thought was very poignant. He said they scored too soon. And it reminds me of guys who play the game. They kind of know what's going on. And all it took was that good old boy from California, Aaron Rodgers, about a minute and 13 seconds to lead them to a score with 11 seconds left. Big C, your thought on that performance? Yeah.
But he took a 10-minute methodical drive to get down the field and score. They said, well, Dak Prescott scored too soon. He scored when he could.
Yeah.
If you score too soon in the NFL, that means you can score anything. We know it's not true.
Yeah.
But, you know, it comes down to the defense. Those guys on the defensive side of the football for Dallas are paid to play football.
Yeah.
You know that Aaron Rodgers is going to throw the ball, and yet you allow him to release the ball. You allow him to escape the pocket passing. Where's the spy on defense? That wasn't on Dak Prescott and the Dallas offense scoring too soon. That was just about the ineptitude of the Dallas defense not having the ability to hold an opponent.
Yeah.
Yet John Lee was out there, middle linebacker. We know they had 5 players out for suspension.
Yeah.
From drug and various other charges. But this comes down from a lack of ability on your defense.
Yeah.
Dallas offense is fine. But when you can't stop anybody, don't look over there and say Dak Prescott scored too soon. Ezekiel rushed for over 100 yards. Dez Bryant is not being productive. Look at the Dallas defense, Charles.
Yeah, that's a very good point, Big C. Also tonight, Monday Night Football, Chicago at home versus Minnesota. Should be a great game up in the Great Northwest. Big C, back in the day, there was a man by the name of Drew Bondini Brown. He was Muhammad Ali's right-hand man. He would always say with Ali, well, all you got to use, how can you lose? Rumble, young men rumble. Big C, what are you looking forward to in the sports universe? Yeah.
Mitch Trubisky went number 2 overall in the draft. He's set for the first 4 games of the season behind Mike Glennon, who had held a clipboard for the previous 2 years.
Yeah.
So we know how intelligent they were on that final.
Yeah.
Okay? And now we're going to see what Trubisky can do tonight. Is he better than Deshaun Watson, which is the benchmark that has been set?
That's a very good point. I think all you have to do is Google the numbers, and that'll give you the answer. You can also Google every Monday through Friday at 5 and 6 p.m. worldwide. Follow Big C Sports on the Big C Sports Network, the #1 network in the United States of America. And Big C Sports has been voted the #1 sports show in the universe, according to Big C and them good old boys down south. We always want to tell you there's never any excuse for domestic violence. If you know any women going to that garbage, just call 911 so they don't have to deal with it on their own. As we always tell you on Big C Sports Show, we thank you, we appreciate you, and we hope that you have a super fantastic day.